We love to promote and engage in violence on ourselves. And every time we do that, we lose. But who benefits from our ignorance? You know exactly who benefits from our ignorance. The enemy. But we all know who the enemy is. But it's the enemy inside of us that's creating these conditions. It's the enemy inside of us that's killing our own brother. So who is the enemy? Because when you kill yourself, you kill the reflection of you. Who are you? Are you a friend? Are you a brother? Or are you an enemy disguised in the flesh of a brother? In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I bear witness that Allah is one. Today I would like to speak about a topic that me and my nephew spoke about. My nephew is a really good brother, a good man, a good family man. And he brought up a topic that was interesting. He said that a man is only as good as the tools that he has. And I say, youngin', I'm gonna use that topic to build on. I got this topic from my nephew, Marcus. And I salute you, young brother, because you a young man who honors responsibility, and you just a good soul. So may God continue to bless you in all the endeavors that you seek to conquer. Respect, champion. A man is only as good as the tools that he has. And I want to add to that and say, also, a man is only as good to know how to use the tools that he has. And I'm going to show you a demonstration of that. Now, this right here is a pen. It's a Dupli-Color pen that you can get from AutoZone. You can get it from O'Reilly's. But this pen right here is all-in-one paint scratch remover. But when you look at it, it just looks like a pen that you just take off, and it's the color is black. If your car is black, you can just put the paint in the crack with this pen right here. And that's what I done. Now, the difference and what I just said is that I bought this pen but didn't really know how to use it or what was all in the pen. Because I never read the instructions. I thought it was just a pen that you just see a minor mark and you just scratch it out with the paint, and that's that. And that's what I did to my rim. Now, a man is as only good as the tools that he has. But a man is only good if he knows how to use the tools that he has. I learned with this Dupli-Color pen, all-in-one, that on the tip of this right here, is an abrasive surface. It's like sandpaper. So you know when you're doing auto work, you got to sand the rust area down so the paint or the Bondo can bond. Well, when you're dealing with a minor scratch, it's going to be rust in that area, or it may be rust in that area. Well, this right here comes with an abrasive top where you sand that area down with this abrasive pen right here. And then you open this up right here, and this is black paint. That's black paint. This is a pen for real narrow scratches. It's a pen on it. Now, what I didn't know is this also, excuse me, this also comes with clear coat to finish off and bond and protect the paint. All in this. Now, some of us might say, man, what does this have to do with the top? It basically has everything to do with this top, because I use myself as an example of having a tool but don't know what to do with it. I know parts of the function, but not all of the function. But once I learn how to use this pen properly, I maximize the use of this pen. Now, what does that mean? It means this. We don't use not even 15% of our minds because we don't know how to use our minds. We have not been taught in our schools how to properly use our minds for the benefit of us. A man is only as good as the tools that he has. Look at our community. That represents poverty. But we have minds in the community that replenishes and reproduces poverty mindsets. But once we learn how to use our minds in alignment with God, then that's when we will extract the proper knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the world can see and marvel over. A man is only as good as the tools that he has. A man is also only as good on how he uses the tools that he has. He must know how to properly use his mind. What financial tools do we really have in our community? Who is educating us genuinely on financial literacy? But make no mistake, it's plenty good people. It's plenty good brothers out here that's teaching financial literacy. But financial literacy is a space where we need as many as possible. Because in our race, financial literacy is asked. What school? And I'm asking a question. What school has taught us entrepreneurship? What school has taught us that we can become business builders and business owners? What school have taught us that we can invest in real estate and become real estate investors? What schools have taught us this? I've been dealing with life from different angles. And I ask myself, why is it so hard for us to live right when living right institutes peace? Why do we engage into chaos? When we have family members who we have consciously seen go to prison because of breaking a law of selling substance that causes a prison sentence, we will have the youngins to come right in place and fill those shoes that's empty. Why is that? Why don't we gravitate towards engineering, doctrine, business, entrepreneurship, things that constitute an independent nation? But yet we feel the prison systems. We feel the juvenile systems. We love to promote and engage in violence on ourselves. And every time we do that, we lose. But who benefits from our ignorance? You know exactly who benefits from our ignorance. The enemy. But we all know who the enemy is. But it's the enemy inside of us that's creating these conditions. It's the enemy inside of us that's killing our own brother. So who is the enemy? Because when you kill yourself, you kill the reflection of you. Who are you? Are you a friend? Are you a brother? Or are you an enemy disguised in the flesh of a brother? Because a true brother will not kill his brother unless you gave him no other alternative but to kill you. And he has exhausted every option that he possibly could to prevent that from happening. That's the only way a true brother will take the life of his own brother. But we take our lives for nothing. But we never face the real enemy. Who benefits from our ignorance is indeed the enemy. And he will continue to reap the benefits off your ignorance if we don't change. So it goes back to a man is only as good as the tools that he has. If your enemy gave you knowledge, which is a tool, if your enemy gave you wisdom, which is a tool, if your enemy gave you understanding, which is a tool, then if you have not searched outside of that to get your own knowledge of who you are, then you will become only as good as your master has taught you. And that's just a fact. He who prescribes your diameter of knowledge also determines your circumference of activity. That's what our leader, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, teaches us. You can't even break out of the sphere of this gravitational pull of knowledge unless you have a key. And that key is the knowledge of who you is. But because you was only good as the tools that you have, when a brother brings the knowledge of self to you, you reject it. Because the knowledge in you rejects any type of knowledge that will give you salvation, that will give you identity, that will give you the knowledge of who you are. Because when you understand and know who you are, you become a tool now for God. You become a tool now for Allah. So now your tool is sharpened, and you will not allow an enemy to ever have you go against the tradition and the laws of God. Because God's laws are really simple, but we make them complex. They simple. Treat your brother right. What's hard about that? No stealing. What's hard about that? What's hard about those? Nothing. We make them complicated because we go against the laws and traditions of Allah. We have to become educated. And I'm going to always stress this. Because the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teach me and teach us that you can't even really sit down and dialogue with a brother or a sister if they don't really have the knowledge of who they are. Because they'll look at you as, man, what is this brother talking about? I'm talking about truth. What is this brother talking about? He ain't talking about nothing. No, I'm talking about stuff that you fear to speak about. I'm speaking about things that we know exactly what the problem is, then let's address the real problem instead of killing each other, murdering each other unjustly, altering somebody's whole family because you got an emotional imbalance that you don't know how to control your emotions. So you take those emotions out on your brother and you kill him. And when you kill him, you rearrange his whole family, because now his whole family has to readjust to that change. This knowledge that we have adopted, force-fed in America, will never, ever change the condition of us as a people. I don't care who you talk to. I don't care what preacher you talk to. I don't care what you try to do. We will not change the condition of ourselves until we change our mental knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of who we are. How can you change a nigga from being a nigga when he thinks he's a nigga? But you can train a man from becoming a nigga when he know that he's a god. Niggas do what niggas do. And gods do what gods do. We ain't the big God, but we definitely is the little God. God is our Father. And whoever say that we ain't from God and we ain't little gods, you know you full of it. I come from my mother and my father. I'm a part of that. My DNA is a part of that because I come from that. Humanity comes from God. So you are a part of God. What did Jesus say? We are all ye of all little gods from the Most High God. When you have this twisted version of information that we have adopted over the years, you can actually read something that's truthful, and the knowledge that we've been taught will make you go against the truth that you know is true, and you will still go against truth when you know damn well that that's true. A man is only as good as the tools that he has. And he also is only as good of how he uses the tools that he has. He must know how to use his tools. Unity is a resourceful tool. Respect is a resourceful tool. Self-love is a resourceful tool. The knowledge of self is a resourceful tool. Which of the bowels of your Lord will you deny? The black man was born in this world for war. We was born in this world to conquer. We was born in this world to protect our families and our race. That's what we was born for. You think that the way we act is normal? You think the way we act, that's how we used to act? Hell no, we didn't. It was something that intervened in our culture and our tradition that made us how we act today, and that's a fact. And this not about going into, some people don't like going into their history, but listen to their conversation. They don't like hearing their history, but listen to their conversation. They don't like hearing their history, but watch how they act in front of white people. Watch, they'll deny everything that you say, but they will not deny nothing that he say, and he could be telling them that he's sending them straight to hell in words, you know what I'm saying, and they'll go straight to hell by the enemy sending them straight there. You got some brothers that they don't even really want to listen to a brother speak motivational music. They got to hear it from a fair scene because that settles in my heart now than what you saying. I don't like you, nigga, because I hate myself. But I listen to a fair scene, man, sprinkle the knowledge. This is the topic that I was blessed to speak about as well as teach about. Because we can never stop educating our people. And everybody has a different format. Everybody has a different approach. Everybody has a different way how they deliver truth. But at the end of the day, if it's truth, it can be researched and proved to be truth. If it's false, it really won't resonate, and it can be proved to be false. Life is beautiful to know who you are. And there's nothing wrong. I asked the brother, brother, why don't you start going to the mosque? Brother, oh no, brother, you know what I'm saying? I ain't into that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, bro, no, brother. I asked another brother. Oh no, brother, you know what I'm saying? I'm not into that. I asked you a question. Did you reject the white man when he taught you? And I'm going to say this. It's never a violation on you as a man or a woman or your character to learn something new. There's nothing wrong by increasing your tools. There's nothing wrong by learning who you are. That's why you have people that be on these dating shows where you had a judge up there where they, I think it's called maternity court. And you have a woman that can be in her 30s and 40s, or a man in his 30s and 40s. And he still want to know who his father is. She still want to know who her father is. Because that's just a genetic connection that we have with our mother and father. And even though if we was raised, if we were adopted and raised inside of a good home, them adopted children still would want to find her mother or her father or her sister or her brother. That's just a natural instinct for any human being that have went to that. But the moral of the story of that is they want to find where they belong, where they come from. So we too must find and go back to where we come from, because we will find that we come from greatness. We come from warriors. We come from sisters was queens. We come from power. That's where we come from. The black man and black woman. That's why they keep us distracted with a whole bunch of nonsense, and they put sprinkle money in there because some people are bought off by money, so they keep money in there as the tool to control the ignorant. The tool to negotiate to buy your character. Yes, sir. That's exactly what they do. And some of us go for the money. And they put all this death rap out there. They go for the money. And you find that death rap, people are acting out with the death rap. So you find brothers and sisters killing each other, trying to emulate and imitate a damn fake song. And a lot of them dudes that's rapping about killing, you know damn well you ain't no killer. You probably couldn't even survive in prison if you ever went to prison. You probably couldn't, because real people that go through stuff don't act like that. Real people that will hurt you don't want no problems like that. They want peace because they know what blood is. And they know the consequences of spilling it. But the ones that try to prove a point, the ones that try to be the first ones that do something, they're the first ones that go to court and tell. Then be the first ones that when you see them in prison, they ain't nothing like how they was. They ain't nothing like that. they get stuff taken from them, they don't do nothing, and they try to join gangs for protection. Because you're really a coward on the inside, but you mask it around a whole bunch of people. But by yourself, you can't stand alone. But when you find the knowledge of who you are, it fills a void space. It fills your soul, your character. It fills you. You can feel yourself. You can feel your pulse. And it removes fear. This is why the enemy don't never want us to wake up. Cool. The enemy uses us as a tool to self-destruct. But my question is, before I ask this question, I want to say this. We are living in a time of technology and information. So learning today is easy. So my question to you is, if the enemy is using us as a tool to self-destruct, what are we going to do about it? You gonna grow up and let your son be slaughtered? Your daughter be slaughtered? What are you gonna do about it? Because the parents are the ones that teach the children. The first interaction that a man has is with his mother. She's his first teacher. So, in the home is where you are taught the knowledge of who you are. You are taught your history. You have taught where you come from instead of in a textbook in school from slavery. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. And anyone who destroys your mind is indeed your enemy. I want to say this. We will never be taught in the public school systems, in high school, or college, the knowledge of who we are. You will never open up a textbook in college and they teaching you the true organic history and knowledge of who you are. It won't happen. So I say this. If a man won't treat you right, then how in the hell can he teach you right? How? I would like to say this before I leave. We as black men and black women must discover and uncover who you are. You must find the knowledge of who you are before you leave this earth. You want to know really who you are. That's a gift from God. And I will end with this. A man is only as good as the tools that he has. And he also is only as good on how to use the tools that he has. Our communities represent the tools that we are using. Peace.